Shri Sai Satcharita, Chapter 22. In Chapter 22, the incredible Leela of Das Ganu's wish to go to Prayag and have a bath in the Sangam, or the confluence of the Ganga, Jamna and Saraswati rivers, is described. Hindus believe that having a bath there will nullify their sins, purify the mind and body, and they will attain Sadgati, that is salvation. Baba, however, tells Das Ganu that he need not go that far, and from the big toes of his feet produces the Ganga and Jamuna. Das Ganu is overwhelmed by this and sings Baba's praises. This is a lesson for all of us that if we clutch tightly on to Baba's feet with love and devotion, then he will surely put us on the path of salvation. The main Leelas of this chapter are about how Baba prevents the accidental deaths of Bapu Sahib Bhutte and Bala Sahib Mirikar, and how Baba cures Amir Shakkar of his nagging pain of rheumatism. And finally, Baba tells Bala Sahib Bhate, Dabulkar and all of us that God resides in all creatures, be it venomous snakes or scorpions. So, if we see such creatures, we ought not to pounce upon them and kill them, because if God has not ordained our death by them, they will not harm us. Now I shall narrate the story of Mirikar, who came to the Dwarkamai prior to going to Chitale for his duty. Baba warns him of his death by snake bite. Nonetheless, he assures him that anyone taking refuge in the lap of Dwarkamai will be saved from mishaps. As Mirikar is leaving, Baba asks Shama to accompany him. In the beginning, Mirikar is reluctant to take Shama with him, but finally agrees, and at Chitale, a serpent was noticed by the Pune to be sitting on Mirikar's Uparna. He raises an alarm, and the snake is beaten to death as it slithers away. Here there are 2 points to be noted. Baba asks Shama to accompany Mirikar. 2. Baba sat in the Dwarkamai facing south. The possible reason for asking Shama to accompany Mirikar was to prevent upper mrityu. Baba himself, in the form of Shama, keeps energizing the soul of Shama in Chitale, and thus has driven away Kala Purusha. Dakshin, or the south-facing direction. South is the dreaded direction of Yama Raj, the Lord of Death. Baba, being the supreme Rudra himself, is capable of driving away Yama Raj whenever he chooses. Thus, Baba as Rudra is able to sit in the Dwarkamai facing the dreaded south direction, or the direction of Yama Raj. I shall now narrate some Leelas where Yama Raj accepts defeat. Leela number 1. Malanbai. Malanbai, the daughter of D.R. Joshi, Devgaonkar, suffered enormously from pulmonary tuberculosis. All sorts of treatments, remedies and poultices were tried, but nothing worked. Malanbai could not bear the pain and coughing bouts anymore, so she insisted on being taken to Shirdi. Upon seeing her, Baba let out a volley of abuses and asked her to lie on a blanket and take nothing but water by mouth. She stayed in Dikshitwada for a week, carefully following Baba's orders. Early one morning, she stopped breathing and died. Her family were mourning her loss and making preparations for her cremation. That morning, Baba did not leave the chowdi, although it was past 8 a.m. It seemed that Baba was in his rage fits. He shouted and shouted for no apparent reason, hitting the floor with his satka. It looked as if he was driving away some unseen object or force. Still shouting, he strode to Dikshatwada and paused a moment, shaking his satka vigorously. Then, just as suddenly as he flared up, he calmed down and went away. The family was oblivious of Baba's actions, but as they were getting ready to bathe the body, they noticed the girl breathing. She opened her eyes and looked around frightened. She told the family what took place. A demon-like black person was carrying me away. I was terrified and couldn't do anything. So I called out to Baba to help me. He at once came and beat the black man quite badly. Then he snatched me from his hands and carried me to the chowdi. She gave a vivid description of the chowdi, although she had never seen it. The family, hearing this, shed tears of joy. Was it any wonder that Baba sat in the masjid facing south? South, the dreaded direction from which Yama Raj comes. But every day and all day long he sat facing Yama. Not for a moment was he without his satka, the magical wand. This Leela is taken from Ambrosia in Shirdi, written by Ramalinga Swami. Leela number 2. Yama Raj will follow Baba's order. After Rukmini got married, she resided in Amalner, where her husband Malhari Bendre worked as a sanitary inspector. Her father, Krishna J. Brahma, alias Abha Sahib, was devoted to Baba. He lived in Ahmednagar, where he worked as a police officer and had the good fortune of meeting Baba several times. Baba blessed him and gave him Udi. Hence, his entire family worshipped Baba and visited Shirdi often. After his retirement, he lived with his elder brother Lakshmana at Badagaon. Then Lakshmana was transferred to Amalner, and they, along with Abba, moved into a house close by. Abba visited the library daily and on the way visited Rukmini. One day he failed to visit her. On the second day, Rukmini got worried and went to meet him. Abba was running a high temperature and Rukmini's mother was giving him a cold compress. He looked at her with affection and his eyes filled with tears. Then he said, "I doubt I will recover from this illness." The doctor was summoned and he administered some injection and advised them to give him bed rest and fluids. The fever continued relentlessly for 8 days, despite the treatment, and soon Abha lost his voice. On the 9th day, his condition took a turn for the worse at midnight. He shrieked loudly in a strange tone of voice. Then, half an hour later, he shrieked again. So the family gave him a sedative, but he continued to be restless. 2 days later, his fever started decreasing and he returned to normal. He made signs to them that he wanted to write something. Her brother and husband helped him to sit up and handed him a slate and chalk. Abha wrote, "Sai Baba was there at the foot of my cot protecting me. I screamed when I saw 4 hideous-looking men who were about to carry me away. They asked Baba to move away from my bed so that they could take me away. Then Baba vigorously shook his satka at them. At that moment, a lot of dogs started barking loudly. The 4 men fled for their lives. Then Yama, the Lord of Death, came there. He was more hideous than the messengers. I shrieked again. He was extremely enraged, and his eyes were bloodshot with rage. When he saw Baba, he calmed down a little. Baba, however, was calm and said, "This is an ardent devotee of mine. I am his guru. Let him stay and continue doing my work for some more time." Yama Raj said, "All right, if you so desire, let me know when I can take him away. I will wait for your orders and follow them." Then he bowed to Baba and left. Baba recovered completely after that dream vision. This Leela was taken from Sai Prasad 1993 Deepavali issue. Leela number 3, Baba scares death away. Unfortunately, the name of this devotee is not mentioned. He states, "My second daughter was not keeping good health since I got transferred to Calcutta. At that time, Baba advised me in a dream to send 1 rupee to Shirdi. I did this immediately, as I had great faith in Baba. I had a premonition that something terrible would happen to my daughter. On the night of 27th April 1941, the child's condition was going from bad to worse. We prayed to Baba and put Udi in the child's mouth and rubbed some on her body. I could not sleep because I was extremely anxious. At about 2:30 a.m., Yama, dressed in black with bells around his waist, entered through the front door of my home. Simultaneously, Baba came out swiftly from my prayer room and shouted, "Hut, hut!" and drove Yama out of my house. Then, at that hour, Yama entered the next house and carried away 1 child. I could hear loud wailing that child had died. I peeped out of the window and saw a crowd of people, and everyone was lamenting the death of the child. I then woke up my wife and related everything that happened. Then we bowed down and thanked Baba for his protection. We were thrilled by the fact that Baba was protecting us even after so many years of his taking Mahasamadhi. This Leela was taken from Sai Sudha magazine, volume 2, number 3, October 1941. I shall now narrate some Leelas where Baba prevents accidental deaths of his devotees. Leela number 1. Baba saves her from drowning. Ramchandra A. Deshmukh was a resident of Shirdi, but he wasn't devoted to Baba. Then his aged mother came to live with him. His mother, however, had visited Shirdi in 1918 and had met Baba and was totally devoted to him. Despite her age, she attended all the artis and used Udi every day. She never failed to go to the Dwarkamai and worship Baba's photograph there. There was a well on the land near their home, and everyone was aware of it. Early one morning at 4 a.m., when Ramchand's mother was going to the latrine, she fell into the well. No one was aware of the accident. At about 5 a.m., a village woman came to draw water and found the old lady floating in it. Somehow they managed to pull her out. Immediately, they got a doctor to examine her. The doctor shook his head and said, "It is due to Baba's grace that she is alive. The depth of the well is more than 48 feet deep, and the water is very cold. She is aged, frail, and weak. The cold that she was exposed to for such a long period of time can cause hypothermia, and as a consequence of hypothermia, it could be fatal. Just keep her warm and give her plenty of hot fluids and apply Baba's Udi to her entire body." Then the doctor left. Ramchandra's mother was drenched from head to toe, and her daughter-in-law removed her wet clothes. While doing so, she was surprised to find that the old lady had not been hurt or bruised or cut anywhere. She got her into dry clothes, then gave her a cup of hot tea. She asked her how she survived when she did not know how to swim. Ramchand's mother said, "When I fell into the well, I called out to my savior, 'Sainath, you can save me from drowning.' Immediately my Sainath came running and held me with his 1,000 hands. So I was afloat till the lady came to draw the water from the well." Then she chuckled and said, "I am sure that it is Baba who sent the lady to draw the water from the well so early in the morning." A short time later, after having tea, Ramchand's mother felt better and went about her normal routine. She often said that she survived because of Baba's grace. This Leela is taken from Ambrosia in Shirdi, written by Ramalinga Swami. Leela number 2. Baba lifted and placed him in the corner. At the onset of the monsoon, Madhukar Khare, a resident of Badlapur, decided to clean the roof of his home. He was concerned that the electric wires running to the house were all right and free from debris. He worried about an accidental short circuit and a fire resulting from it. The front of his home had an awning about 6 feet high, while the rooftop was about 15 feet high. He climbed on the roof and cleaned it thoroughly, but he slipped and fell, and with it the awning fell with an explosive sound. The awning was supported by huge wooden pillars and was made of metal that were cemented over. Hearing the noise, the neighbors ran to help him. There was a huge pile of debris and everyone feared the worst. Madhukar, however, was standing safely in a corner unhurt. He said, "Just as I was falling, I saw a bright, dazzling light before my eyes, and then I felt someone lifting me and placing me in the corner. The only recollection I have is that the person whose hand lifted me was clad in a white kafni." Then he went inside and stood before Baba's photograph and thanked him for saving his life and the lives of both the small children. His children had just returned from school a few minutes before the awning fell. However, they had entered the house to keep their school bags there. Had they been under the awning, they would have been crushed to death. This Leela is taken from Shri Sai Leela magazine, volume 67, number 8, January 1989. Leela number 3. Shanti Kirwandekar falls in the well. Babu Kirwandekar was a Brahmin devotee staying in Shirdi. He had a 5-year-old daughter called Shanti, who loved Baba a lot. She often said that she was Baba's sister, and Baba reciprocated her love and called her Bai. One day, she fell into the well that was behind Satewada. It was quite a long time before they could pull her out, but she was not hurt at all. The villagers were amazed to see her hale and hearty. When they asked her about her fall, merrily she replied, "When I fell into the well, I called out to my Baba, and he held me for a long time. Hence, I have no injuries." This Leela is taken from Shri Sai Leela magazine, Ashad, Ank 5, Year 1, 1923. I shall conclude this chapter with another Leela of a little boy who had unshakable faith in Baba. One day, a small boy was going to school. That day, it was raining quite heavily, so he had a huge umbrella which obstructed his view. As he walked along, he accidentally fell into a huge pit which was dug for laying the foundation of a building. The workers came running to his aid. However, the little boy came up on the other side without a single bruise. So they asked him how he managed to come out of the pit without any problem. He said, "When I fell, I called out to my Baba, and he made steps for me to climb. So I climbed out and came out of that huge pit." This Leela was taken from Ambrosia in Shirdi, written by Ramalinga Swami. And this concludes the commentary on the chapter. Om Sai Ram.